I'm Dale Jensen, and I am your instructor for COM 1020 Online. Welcome. Let's have a look at what we have coming up in the next 6 and a bit weeks. It's going to be speedy. All right, so when we have a look at, there we go. When you open it up, this is what you should land at. If you have not done an online class before, then this little toggle takes you to the different weeks pieces, and you can jump back and forth, or you can scroll. There's usually multiple ways to do things. If you happen to forget my email address, it's right there. So you can shoot me an email anytime. I'm usually pretty darn good at getting back to people within, definitely within 24 hours, but usually just a few. I'm going to put this video here. This course overview, due dates and policies, this is important. It helps explain a lot about this class. So these bulleted points here, that is what Olds College has determined needs to be learnt in COM 1020. So everything we do in the next 6+ weeks is aiming at those things. We will have 2 quizzes. Each of them is worth 10%. So that gives us our 20% there. We have 4 assignments. 3 of them are online discussions, and the other one is an email exchange assignment. So each of the 2 discussions, because we are on such a tight schedule. So we have 2 discussions, and they are each worth 5%, and the email exchange is going to be worth 10%. The projects come to 60%, and you can see where that breaks down in this update thing, I suppose we can call it. And we've got our policies, the student responsibility, academic ethics, all those important pieces that are all part of being a college student. For these deadlines, I would suggest either writing them in a book somewhere, printing off this piece of paper, or putting them in your phone with reminders a few days before to make sure that you've got them done, because I know what it's like to be trying to juggle a whole lot of balls all at the same time. It can be a busy world for sure. So let's have a look at our first week and get you started that way. Oh, before we get to there, sorry. This is the Olds College competency profile that I alluded to earlier with those bulleted points. So that's the outline according to the college. This Google Drop-in Meet, this is available purely as an option. Some people like to hop on in an evening and ask me some questions. So it's kind of like office hours. And if you have any questions about upcoming assignments, that would be a great time to do it. If that doesn't work for you, there's always email. And like I said, I'm pretty darn good at that. The academic integrity note, this is all about how artificial intelligence meets your college career. So essentially it boils down to, don't use AI to write your assignments. It's absolutely not acceptable because it's plagiarism. You can use AI as part of your research gathering, sure, but make sure that you know what sources they're citing, because you need to be able to cite your sources, and we'll learn more about that coming up as well. So this introductory information piece, it's a little written blurb for people that prefer to do that as opposed to watch me talk at them. And some key pieces, that's essentially, well, you'll have a look at that. But one of the big things to know is you don't need a textbook. And online discussion forum tips, oh yeah, it says 4, no, 2. There's going to be 2. I'm going to change that actually, because I still have it in my teacher edit mode. I can change that to 2. Yeah, 2. And they actually come to 10%. There we go. We'll just let that go. Perfect. And if you're like me and you don't want your phone beeping off with all kinds of notifications, this little video helps a lot with that. You might find that handy. Okay, week 1, let's get cracking. So week 1, we have conflict resolution discussion and a research skills quiz. And they are both ultimately due by January 14th. but the discussion needs to be started by the 10th. And that is so that you have time to post your piece or respond to other people. And it gives us the opportunity to read each other's posts, think about it, and come up with thoughtful, well-informed responses. That's what the goal of that is. That's why we start by the 10th, because conversations really should take some thinking processes. There's a little blurb at the beginning about each of those 2 pieces that happens this week. And you'll be able to go through that on your own time. You'll notice that I have each section set up in the same format, and that's to make it easier for you to navigate. So there's going to be a bigger headline for each piece. We have 2 things due this week. So we have conflict resolution resources and discussion forum access. So that's all of that piece. The resources that we read and view. So because there's going to be videos, and sometimes videos, sometimes written pieces, sometimes both. That's all the resources for you to use to inform your posting when you make your discussion forum post. So this is the do. Then we have our research skills, resource information, and quiz access. This is like an open book quiz. So ultimately it all takes place in the old college resource, online resources for you. And this guide video, that's very helpful because it tells you where to go find those pieces, because sometimes it's not completely intuitive. And if I was you, I would watch that video. I would open a tab, make sure I've got those pieces that I just showed you how to find in that video. And then I would open another tab with the research skills quiz and have them both go back and forth, just like an open book quiz. You won't have any invigilated exams in this class, and there isn't a final exam. So those are both good news pieces. So yes, this research quiz will be worth 10%. It's like an open book quiz, and there's a map for you to be able to find it. For most people, it takes them about an hour. And because we're avoiding plagiarism, if you can put some of it into your own words, that helps a lot too. But I am doing it with the understanding that you are taking your information directly from that spot. So that's that part. The grammar quiz is the only piece that is open for the entire course. And it is set up so that Moodle will mark it. It will give you 2 options, like 2 times to do it, and it will take the better mark of those 2 times. In that section as well, there are some resources to familiarize yourself, because for most of us, it's been a while since we considered the actual rules of grammar. And these online practice quizzes, so there's a whole series. I went through the links, they worked for me, but sometimes links break. So if something like that happens, please let me know. All of those will take you to practice before you do your quiz. And I think that's probably good for us for now. That gets you ready to go on your grammar quiz and your first week with an overall view of how the setup is going to go for the next 6+ weeks. So yeah, and if you have any questions, drop in and visit with me tomorrow night. And aside from that, welcome. Good luck.